Happy New Year, everybody. It's the first day of the new year, January 1st, 2025. I'm going to give you a bit of an abbreviated podcast today. As we ring in this new year, going to kind of focus in on the upcoming travel period, and we'll get into our longer form podcast as we head into the end of the week. Another Pacific wave, it's a small one, but it's a moist one, will come off the Pacific through the Pacific Northwest and the northern and central Rockies later today and tonight into tomorrow. This will bring another round of mountain snow and snow showers to the plains, not unlike what happened yesterday. Another system arrives over the weekend. This one will be a little stronger. And if anybody's traveling this weekend, you're going to need to watch out for another round of mountain snow and a little bit of light snow across the low elevations, especially across the northern Rockies and parts of the central plains. As that system goes through, as the Pacific wave train really is just uninterrupted here for a little bit longer. The long-term trends, talking about next week and beyond, for the U.S. still looks colder, but the devil's in the details, and there's a lot of fluctuations in the modeling and the details. Well, the confidence in the colder weather next week across the U.S., the details, well, the confidence is low. We're just going to have to get a little closer to get a better idea. The Aurora borealis did make a very brief showing. Aurora watcher and photographer Jan Curtis caught this yesterday evening. It was out very briefly, he reported, and you were not able to see it with your naked eye. With a high-resolution camera, you're able to capture this. Maybe some of you were able to get it. That was a situation where skies were clear just at the right time with no moon out. The Aurora activity may be around again today, but the geomagnetic storm is fading. But glad it was able to show up in some areas last night. Here's the satellite photo this morning showing the wave trains from the Pacific continuing. Here's the next batch of moisture coming on in. It doesn't look like much, but this little low coming in is going to travel right along the same path as all the other systems have done lately. And you can look back in the Pacific and see that they're out there again. There's more upstream coming our way. This is the outlook across the nation today on this New Year's Day. We've got some winter weather in the Northeast and along the Great Lakes. Then we can see the purple and the pink areas here where winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings are in effect. These blue areas are for avalanche warnings in the mountains of northern Utah, and avalanche concerns will remain very high through the weekend. So outdoor backcountry skiers and snowmobilers in the west, be prepared. To zoom in a little bit closer, you can see that Star Valley, down into Afton, Jackson, into the Wind Rivers, into eastern Idaho, we have winter weather advisories for the next round of snow with winter storm warnings for the snowy range in the Sierra Madres from later today, overnight, and into Thursday. Doesn't look like much, but there's that little ripple in the west to northwest flow aloft. Again, that is a very favorable wind direction for the northern and parts of the central Rockies to get snow, especially north of Interstate 70. That'll be the case again, dropping more snow in areas that have already picked up a lot. And you can see there's even a little bit of moisture that will get out into the plains. This is between today and late tomorrow. Let's change that to snow, and that's what it looks like. So we could have some snow squalls, some snow showers along the I-80 corridor, especially late today, overnight tonight, and into the morning hours of Thursday. So I-80 travelers, keep an eye on that, as well as I-70 in the mountains of Colorado. This looks a lot like what's been happening here over the last several days. These systems is coming through, covering the same areas. Then we have a brief break. This high pressure ridge that you see over the Four Corners area is rather transient. It'll be there briefly, but travelers, you're going to have a bit of a break Friday underneath that high here temporarily. Cold weather funnels into the Great Lakes and parts of the northeastern United States. Then here's the next wave. This one's a little more potent. This will be crashing the Pacific Northwest coast Friday and Friday night. And as it goes through Friday into Saturday and Sunday, it will leave a path like this. So you can see that Montana, parts of northern Wyoming, South Dakota, even Nebraska, getting into some precipitation, as this next wave will be a little bit stronger and it will drag in some colder air. The mountains, again, are going to do well to pick up more snowfall. So probably the best travel periods will be early today, then again on Friday, But for Saturday and Sunday, if you're going to be traveling in the western high plains and parts of the Rockies, you're going to have to deal with some wintry weather. This is going to be mainly late Friday night through Saturday and Sunday out here across the plains, a large part of Montana, the I-90 corridor of Montana and Wyoming into South Dakota, then again the mountains of southern Wyoming and central Colorado will again feel the effects of that next Pacific wave. Then as we go into next week, we still have this big amplification of high pressure off the west coast and the jet stream wanting to dip out of Canada and unleash a lot of very cold air into the U.S. from the Rockies and points eastward. This is by next Thursday, the 9th of January. So we're still looking at the development of this high, but where this high exactly develops, whether it's here, further east, further west where the model shows it, or maybe further west out here, will really tell the story of how cold it will get and where the cold will be the worst. But we have enough of a lot of different things that could go on here that could change where this ridge is, as well as how far the ridge builds northward to displace the Arctic air up here. So we're looking at a lot of weather across the USA next week. But the devil is in the details, and we'll have more to talk about that tomorrow and on Friday. Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.